All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's Matty here from Chill TCG. So today we're going to be taking a look at the championship-winning deck list from Chill Series number 18, which wrapped up this past Wednesday. About 200 players. We had Michele Babin win with her new and sort of improved Eternatus VMAX list. We're going to take a look at the list in just a minute. But before we get into it, guys, I want to let you guys know that we are sponsored by Card Cavern Trading Cards, and it's a recent sponsorship. So definitely go check them out. Link will be down in the description below, and you can use the code CHILLTCG for 5% off your entire order. Yeah, what's going on, Michele? How you doing?
Hi, how's it going?
It's going good. So, how do you feel? How you feel after getting the win on?
I feel incredible. It's my first online win in since March, I think. So it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I know you've played I think you started playing pretty commonly in the Chill Series tournaments like three weeks ago or so, and I think your first one you got like a top 16, and then you got like a top 4 or something crazy, and then now you won it. So the progression has been real. It's actually been super impressive.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. So you were playing Eternatus VMAX. We're going to take a look at your deck list in just a minute. But before we get into the specifics of the deck list, we're going to take a look at your matchup. So I got that pulled up. Actually, I got to pull it up on screen. Let me... Oh, yeah, that's fine. I'll... Give me a second. I'm just going to pull it up on screen. I'll edit it out in post, all right? Okay, and we're back with the matchups here. Michele's matchups in Chill Series number 18. So, our new sort of like structure for our tournaments is we do 8 rounds in phase 1, and then we do 5 more rounds of phase 2 for people that make 15 points in that first 8 rounds. So Michele, in your first 8 rounds, you got 6 wins, 1 loss, and 1 tie. So you beat Blounds, beat Orbeetle, beat Luke Metal, beat another E-Turn. Dropped one to Luke Metal, so 50-50 in Luke Metal in phase 1, not bad at all. Got another win against an E-Turn, managed to ID there against a Colossal, which is always nice when you're playing E-Turn. And then you played Liam Kid there, and I'm not sure exactly what Liam Kid was playing. Let's take a look. So Liam Kid was playing, he was playing ADP Victini. It was like ADP Charizard. I'm not sure. This thing is that deck list is a little bit wild, but all right. Not bad at all. Let me try to go back. Okay, there we are. And then in phase 2, you got 3 wins in a row: E-Turn, ADP, and then Inteleon. Dropped a game to Vitor Lugan there playing Pikarom. He's a great player. And then got the win actually against Angel Aranabar playing E-Turn as well. So, in my opinion, this deck, Michele, and from what I saw from your run here, was that you had a very good matchup against other Eternatus decks. I think you went 6-0 actually against E-Turns for this tournament. You beat 2 in phase 1, 2 in phase 2, and then 2 in Top Cut as well. So, and also looked like the ADP matchup was pretty good too. So, overall, what did you think about your matchups? Do you think that, your deck sort of did well against the decks that you played against?
So basically the thing is all the other Eternatus I played against were now playing Crushing Hammers, and I think it's a favorite card in this matchup. Because basically what you want to do is go second and go I don't remember the name. The first attack on Eternatus.
Oh yeah, Power Accelerator, yeah.
Yeah, so you can attach both energy, and they don't have a way to remove that. And then you can just go like next turn, attach VMAX, and then just knock stuff out. Same thing with ADP actually. Although they do play Crushing Hammers, which is why it's really important that you go second. The one match that I decided not to go second was actually way closer than I could have imagined.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually my first match in phase 2.
Yep, okay.
Yeah, so like it was way closer. You obviously want to go second, then like you just hope that you have a good hand, basically.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and like that's basically it. You just have to be lucky with Crushing Hammers. It's kind of sad to say, but like the fact that I'm relying on a flipping card to make my deck good, it's not the greatest at all times.
Right. But I mean, the thing is with Crushing Hammers, right? In your deck, you were running 4 Crushing Hammers, as well as 2 Dangerous Drills, and we'll take a look at the deck list in just a second. But E-Turn always struggles against hammers, and right now in the format, E-Turn is probably one of the most played decks. In my opinion, it's probably the best deck in the format right now. So you got to expect that you're going to be playing a lot of other Eternatus VMAX decks. I feel like, if you're not running hammers in your E-turn list, you're just going to be at a disadvantage against people who are. It's kind of like the ADP, right? A lot of people back in the day, a few months ago, were running hammers in ADP because it just was really good in the mirror matchup as well as playing E-turn. But when ADP was the most played deck, people were running hammers in ADP just to counter their mirror matchup. And I think sort of right now, with Eternatus, it's the same thing. A lot of people don't like crushing hammers, but realistically, if you're running 4 in your deck, you're most of the time hitting at least 2 of those, right, in your games. And even 2 crushing hammers, this is going to be super, super, advantageous, especially like in the early game if you can sort of win that, that energy race. And I think that's kind of what the matchup comes down to as well. Like you said, you want a power accelerator because you want to get those 2 energies on early on in the game. And, really, if you get those 2 energies on and you knock an energy off your opponent's Eternatus VMAX, then they have to wait a whole nother turn to set up because there's really nothing they can do to accelerate more than 1 energy attachment per turn. So I think that the strategy with your E-turn list is definitely really, really good. I think that's definitely smart. Was there any, you went 50-50 on Luke Metal. You went, I think you only played 1 Pigrom and you lost to Pigrom. So was there any other matchup that you thought was, tough for your deck?
Well, like, Luke Metal is definitely hard because you can't really, like, kill them on, like, 1 turn. And they play Malalana, so they can heal more damage. And, like, with all the resources that they have, it's, like, definitely a hard matchup. I think the matchup that I beat, my round 3 in phase 1, the guy just got unlucky. Because Marnie obviously is a good card against that matchup. Spiritomb can also be good because that's your attacking options versus Zamazenta.
Right.
But like other than that, if they set up and remove a bunch of your energies with Luke Metal's GX attack, like it's pretty bad.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think E-turn has always struggled with Luke Metal. Zamazenta is just really good, and then with the damage reduction, not being able to really one-hit KO anything is, it's always tough, and E-turn really likes to one-hit KO stuff, so it's, yeah.
Definitely. The matchup that I also got, like, really lucky, is against Blake, playing Colossal. I was lucky enough that he asked me to ID.
Yeah, for sure.
Before we started the match, so that was pretty cool of him. Definitely would not have won that one, but yeah.
Yeah, that's always fortunate. Yeah, I would say that E-turn's worst matchups right now are probably Luke Metal and Colossal, it's good because those are really 2 of the most played decks right now in the format. There's definitely a handful of decks that people play more, so if E-turn right now, at least until Battle Styles come out, seems to be just in a really good spot right now in the metagame, and I think that if you're looking to play just a really dominant deck, I would say that E-turn does really well. One thing that I noticed is that you didn't actually play against any like welder decks, like any Centiskorch or any you did play 1 Blacephalon there in round 1, but other than that, no Centiskorch, and that's typically pretty interesting. Welder decks are pretty highly played. Do you have any experience playing any sort of welder decks like Centiskorch or things like that? Do you think that your matchup is good against those decks?
Do you think that the matchup is like favorable for E-turn? I haven't played against it though, so I'm not quite sure. But like the thing about welder decks is that they can be really inconsistent. So they would need to hit to get set up. They would need to get 2 welder in a row.
Yeah.
And attach on Sandscourge to just take 1 massive knockout. So I don't know. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah. No, I think that makes sense. I think most people would probably agree, maybe other than Thomas Brophy, that Eternatus has a good matchup against Centiskorch. But yeah, I think that the matchup spread that you played throughout the tournament was definitely pretty diverse, and I think that everything that you played here, I think not only, of course, did you play really well, and people can go watch the Grand Finals match as well. So we did post the Grand Finals match against you and Swiss Fiaro there, the E-turn mirror in the final. So you guys can go watch that. I'll put an annotation to it up above. That was a really fun match to watch as well. But it did go to game 3. It was a good one. I liked watching that one. And yeah, I mean, I just would say that your deck performed well, you performed well, and that it was definitely a smart call for the tournament. So I guess at this point we can go and turn over to the deck list, and I can ask you a little bit about the deck specifically. Here we are. Okay, cool. It's gonna look a little bit different because I don't have like all the same arts I think as you did in your list exactly, but it should be pretty much the exact same build. So a few things to note. So we're gonna get straight into the Pokemon count now. You are running a 4-4 lineup with Eternatus V and Eternatus VMAX. I know some people are running 4 Vs and 3 VMAX because technically you don't need 4 VMAX in a game, but for consistency reasons, I think that a 4-4 lineup is pretty good. 19 Pokemon in total, 4 Crobats, of course. Now, I think the most interesting thing with this list in terms of the Pokemon is you're only running 2 Zigzagoon and you're running 2 Spiritomb and 3 Yveltal. I think Yveltal is super good in this list. It gives you that first attack's pretty nice, 30 damage, and discard a special energy, derail. That can be very clutch sometimes, but for the most part, that free retreat and that pivot is extremely useful in Eternatus, especially against things like Pikarom with the paralysis and whatnot. So, I like the 3 Yveltal, but I think the 2 Zigzagoon's a little bit interesting. So, I think people might be a little bit curious as to why you're only running 2 Zigzagoons with no scoop up nets. Did you ever find that you might, did you ever sort of feel like you were looking for more Zigzagoons at any point, or did you think that 2 was for the most part fine?
I think 2 for the most part is fine. Zigzagoon is literally only for the ADP matchup.
Right.
Because we do play Dangerous Drill, which allows us to discard their big charms. We only need to use Zigzagoon 1 time. So like the 2, like, of course it's like to bench more Pokemons, but it's literally just for that 10 damage.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. Like I think ADP is pretty specifically probably the only reason that you would run Zigzagoons, maybe some other things, right? Maybe just for big charm and whatnot, but yeah, I think with the inclusion of 2 Dangerous Drills in this list to knock off the big charms and other tool cards as well, I think that you don't really need that many Zigzagoons, and you can kind of implement other important single prize Pokemon in the deck like Spiritomb and Yveltal. Spiritomb, in my opinion, is probably the best single prize attacker that you can be putting into Eternatus these days. It's got a little bit of a slower start, right? So it takes kind of a build up. You want to get them on your board early. But did Spiritomb ever come in clutch for you in any of your games?
Yeah, actually, like, it came in like clutch in pretty much maybe all of my games. The fact that you can just build a Spiritomb up to like 50 and then just hit on something and then take the knockout with Eternatus the turn after that allows you to like play more on the prize card. So if you take like if they knock you out after that, which like it's pretty easy. So you can just like they take 1 prize and then you take whatever prizes that they had as active.
For sure.
I think it's just like pretty good.
Yeah. No, I mean I agree completely. I love Spiritomb. I can see the benefit of maybe running, like, people sometimes run like a Hoopa or 2 in their deck, which can be good because you can kind of put it out there and attack with it in the same turn, which you can't do with Spiritomb. But for the most part, this is kind of a slow paced deck, and if you get your Spiritombs out early in the game, and they're it works all the same, or if not better. 3 Yveltals is pretty interesting, but for the most part, like I really like multiple Yveltals in this list. The attack is good. Everything is good about Yveltal. It's got a decent amount of HP too, so it's kind of hard to with spread decks to really get extra prize cards on Yveltals as well. But that free retreat, that pivot is extremely good. You are running 4 switch cards, so between switching, going into Yveltal, retreating, it's just extremely good. And it's one of those things where, after one of your Eternatus get prized, it's one of those things that you can always just move up into the active spot if you haven't really set up Eternatus VMAX yet, right? And it's you don't have to worry about attaching energy to it or even finding switch cards because you can just free retreat back into your Eternatus VMAX when it does get set up. So for that reason, I really like Yveltal. I'm not gonna even ask you too much about it because I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, and then we talked about the Crushing Hammers and Dangerous Drill, of course. I think that combo is extremely good. One thing I wanted to ask is you played against 6 different Eternatus lists in this tournament. Did a lot of them run special energies, or for the most part, were they mostly running basic energies?
No, for the most part, they were actually running the hiding energy and the capture energy.
Okay.
So that was, yeah, the dangerous drill was pretty good against those decks.
Yeah, I mean, of course, Dangerous Drill's like super versatile. I mean, if anybody doesn't know, you have to discard a dark Pokemon from your hand to use the card, which is fine because we have so many in the deck. But you discard either a Pokemon tool or a special energy from one of your opponent's Pokemon, or you discard any stadium in play. So it's super versatile. It just makes a ton of sense in this deck for sure. You can discard those big terms like we said. A lot of decks are running special energies, especially other E-turns as well right now. So, Welder decks with their Giant Hearths. So there's just a ton of different uses for Dangerous Drill. And I think the combo between 2 of these and 4 Crushing Hammers is just, it's too good not to pass up for sure. And then on to Pokemon search cards. So we had 4 Great Balls, 2 Pokecom, and 4 Quick Balls. I believe this is like 1 less than what I think the standard E-turn lists run. I think they run like 4 Great Ball, 4 Quick Ball, and then maybe 3 Pokecom. You're running a little bit of a higher count of actual Pokemon with just 1 less Pokemon Communications. Did you ever find that you were short on Pokemon search cards for this deck, or did you feel like running the 10 here was fine?
Yeah, I never felt like I was missing. Actually, I ended up, and from what I can remember, I ended up burning my Pokemon
Yeah.
more with so like putting a Crobat back in my deck and then grabbing the same Crobat just to draw more cards. Um, the Pokemon was useful to get Eternatus VMAX sometimes, but with like the 4 Great Balls that you play, like it's pretty easy to find what you're looking for.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I mean, the good thing too with all the Pokemon search cards is they're good cards to sort of just burn, right? Because you can burn through your hand to drop the card count in your hand to play Crobat to draw extra cards, right? You can Great Ball and just like not grab anything. You can Pokecom to put things back into your deck actually and just burn 2 cards. Quick Ball, you can do the same thing, right? So those cards are really good for just sort of shrinking your hand size down to draw more with Crobat as well as finding Pokemon, right? Which is what they're there for. So. I for the most part, I feel like that's the better way to go, right? You just run maybe 1 or 2 extra Pokemon, and you don't have to run as many Pokemon search cards, and you're not really sacrificing any consistency. So I think that's definitely super smart, for sure. And then we got Force Switch. So I mean, I guess we don't really need to talk about Force Switch. Every deck is running like 3 or 4 switches, unless something's weird and they're running just like a bunch of air balloons. But I think Force Switch in Eternatus is very, very needed. I don't feel like you need like a Dark City or Hiding Energy, at least not if you're not running like Poison E-turn or something like that, right? But you're running 3 Yveltal and 4 Switch. I think that's plenty of ways to pivot and switch in and out. So I think that's definitely super good. And now on to the supporter count, Michelle. So we're running 4 Marnies and 4 Research, but we only have 3 Boss. Now, I think a lot of people definitely like to run 4 Boss in Eternatus, but did you ever feel like it was hard for you to find Boss's orders in any of these matchups, or was 3 pretty much fine for you?
Well, sometimes it was like really hard, like with the amount of digging that you can do with this deck. It's really hard just to miss what you're looking for. So I ended up missing bosses a lot, especially end game when it's like, if you have a boss, you win, and like
Yeah.
you would Marnie or you would research like basically for 2 turns and then not find the boss. It's definitely hard, but it didn't end up like hurting me, so like obviously I'm fine with it. But I think it could be something that we change looking forward.
Right. If you had to cut 1 card from this deck to add a 4th Boss's orders, like what card do you think that you would cut out?
Oh, that's tricky.
I know there's not a lot of room.
Right? I think I would cut I honestly don't I honestly don't know. Maybe like a dangerous drill. Well, it depends on the tournament, obviously. If you're running this list in an ADP list tournament, obviously like the drills are not as important. So
Right.
I
Right.
feel like you could be okay cutting 1 for that.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Running 1 drill is like always, people are like, well, why run 1, right? Because it'd be hard to find it. But I mean, for the most part, This deck does dig pretty well. You're always shuffling through cards. And I think that a fourth boss kind of outweighs all of the other cards in this deck in terms of its importance. So I think that I think what you said is probably pretty correct. I guess you could take out maybe one of those Yveltals, maybe. And then if you're playing in a no ADP tournament, I guess you could discard a Zigzagoon as well. I mean, maybe you just need one, but yeah, I mean, I think fourth boss is kind of smart. So if anyone's watching this and they want to rebuild this list, let us know. Like, find a place, maybe to take out a card. Maybe you take out an Etern VMAX. Who knows? But definitely, I would try a fourth boss. It just is so important, and so many times at the end of games, it comes down to, whether you find bosses orders or not, right? So. But yeah, and then we got 4 Marnie for research. I think that's just totally good. You probably want to use those every turn if you can, right? If you're not Crobatting or whatnot. And 10 basic dark energies. So, were you glad, Michelle, that you didn't run any special energies? Did you feel like it weighed the deck down at all, or do you think that was a good move?
No, I definitely think it was a good move. Plus the high count of energy allows you to get the power accelerator easier on your first or your second turn. And it also allows you to discard them with like a quick ball if you're looking for something.
Right.
The thing I didn't like about the other decks, the other Etern list is definitely the low count of energy. Because I feel like if you're stuck to discard like 2 or 3 energy with research, you're kind of stuck in the game.
Right. No, yeah. I think that makes total sense. I think right now, as the meta shifts and Power Accelerator becomes that much more important, and Dangerous Drill maybe becomes that much more relevant, I think just running a 10 count of basic energies is extremely smart. And I think you have sort of the advantage, right? If you're playing against an Eternatus that's not running hammers, and maybe they are running Dangerous Drill, then you just are immediately at the advantage, because not only does their Dangerous Drill really not do anything for them, you can also come back and hit them with hammers as well. So, yeah, I mean, that's the deck list, guys. Big shout out to Michelle for coming on to the video. Of course, congratulations, Michelle. Thank you so much for playing in Chill Series 18. You had a great run. It was great to watch you play.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, no problem. And if you're watching this, definitely go check out her grand finals match. We have the video posted. Again, it's just up here, like in the top right of the video for the annotation. You guys can go check that out. It was a great match. And I think this deck list is very well positioned right now in the meta, and I think that you played it very well, Michelle, at the tournament. So I expect a lot of other people to be running this list now that you get the win with it.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. All right, so we're gonna wrap it up, guys. Like I said, shout out to Card Cavern for sponsoring the the tournaments and for sponsoring the channel. Use code ChillTCG at checkout for 5% off your order. Before we go, I want to let you guys know that tomorrow, actually, as we record this, is Chill Series 19. So we're getting there, almost towards the end of Season 2. The Invitational is coming up. And of course, if you get to the finals here, you qualify for free entry into our $3,000 GG Tour Regional. So plenty of different great reasons to come and play tomorrow at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time in Chill Series 19. Link to register for that will also be down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you so much, Michelle, for coming on. And I'll see you guys soon.